Hey guys, Pieguyrulz here, and welcome to what might be a new segment, might not be, I don't know. I really wanted to talk about this one thing, and it kind of got me thinking maybe I could do a thing where I just talk about a topic related to cartoons or whatever for a long time, or not a very long time, but just a little bit on camera here, very loose. And, you know, if you guys like this video, I'll do a bunch more. I'll just do a bunch and try to get them out, like, maybe 3 times a week or whatever, like, something like that. But what I really wanted to talk about, and I didn't want to do a rant, because there's nothing angry about it, except for the fact that they got rid of it. And there's nothing... I don't know quite how to approach this subject, but what I want to talk about is CartoonNetwork.com, and more specifically, Cartoon Orbit. Yeah. Back in the early 2000s, Cartoon Network had a really cool website. I mean, they still have a website, and it's still pretty cool, but, like, way back when, their website was really awesome. Like, I remember playing so many of those games. You could still actually play some of them. There's a Dexter's Lab point-and-click little adventure thing where you gotta collect glasses for Dexter, and he can reach different areas to find his robot that was lost. And then there's, let's see, there's a masked wrestling Ed, Edd n Eddy game. There's all sorts of games back in the day, and some of them have been removed. I specifically remember there was something about a Cartoon Island Resort where it was like an adventure where you went around and there was all the cartoon characters, and you went around and you know, cow wanted this and chicken wanted that, and you had to go run around and solve puzzles basically by giving stuff to other people and whatever. That was a cool one that I do believe they got removed. But yeah, they had a lot of cool games, and that was cool. I don't know specifically when this happened. I want to say it was like 2001-ish, the early 2000s. They had this idea, and it was called Cartoon Orbit. And Cartoon Orbit was, as easy as I can put it, it's kind of like a collectible card game, but online. What it was is you had these things called CTunes. Like cartoons, get it? And they were like kind of like these collectible stickers almost. You got them by doing various things. You got them by either entering a code, which could be from anywhere on, you know, like a product like Goldfish or something, Goldfish crackers, or you could get it from watching Cartoon Fridays, or, you know, all sorts of promotional codes were given out left and right. Like, for instance, beating a game, like there was a Duck Dodgers game way back when, that if you beat a level, you got a code, and you got a Duck Dodgers C-Tune. And, like, when I say they're stickers, I mean it's like a cartoon character or a location or an object in, like, a certain pose, you know, or doing something cool, you know. And there were many different types of these C-Tunes. Like, there were some of them that had audio that played when you clicked on them. There were some of them that had motion. There were some of them that were even little mini arcade cabinets that when you clicked on it, you could play a little mini game. And there were a lot of cool ones. And it was just... I have this incredible memory of this. I just remember loving this idea, and it's at least partially where my username came from. If you've ever been wondering about that, the Pie Guy part came from that was part of my handle on Cartoon Orbit, because you would have to, it wouldn't let you put in a username, but it would let you combine like 3 different names, and I don't know what my last name was, but it would, you know, and it was Pie Guy something or other. Maybe it was Rules, maybe that's where that came from. But either way, it was really cool. It was this really cool account-based system where you could trade, there was an auction house that you could buy them. There were some really rare ones that, like, they never distributed again, like very sought-after ones. I remember the arcade ones were very sought-after, you know, and there were promotional ones for, like, all sorts of things. Like, any way you could imagine they were distributing these things, and you could buy them too with virtual points. None of this, like, you know, if they did it today, they'd have it where you could pay $5 and get a certain amount of coin. None of that. You earned your coins by playing, like, they had this. Occasionally, they'd have mini games that weren't like C-Tune mini games, but they were mini games like a pachinko machine kind of thing that you played, and you got coins or credits or whatever they were called, and you could buy some C-Tunes that way. But like I said, they weren't all available like that, and that was kind of the draw, was that, like, you know, you had to be quick on these. You had to get the code that night, and if you didn't use the code within a week, it would expire and it'd be no good. And that's no good. But yeah, and it was so much fun. And later on in its life cycle, they came out with, I believe they were called G-Tunes. Yeah, I want to say that they're G-Tunes, like Game Tunes or whatever. But they were like C-Tunes, but they were round, and they were like game pieces. So it literally turned it into a trading card game. You know, and like I said, they had pictures of characters and stuff, and I remember you could do some cool things by stacking up bonuses by, like, playing 3 characters from the same show, or something like that, like a character and a location from the same show, and there were all sorts of points, and I remember it was actually a pretty fun game, and you played it online anonymously with random people, or you could, I think, practice against the computer, but it was such a novel idea. It was unlike anything I've ever played, and I can't think of an equivalent. I mean, I remember there are some, like, things that kind of tried to emulate it, but I don't know, nothing was ever the same, because it's not an MMO, and it's not, I mean, it's kind of like if you've ever played Neopets, which I did as a kid until it crashed my computer, where you have these little pets and you get items and stuff. It's kind of like that, but it's more than just, like, item management and stuff. It was kind of a phenomena, and it's really hard to explain. If you haven't experienced this, I don't really know how to explain it to you, but yeah, it was really fun, and I wish Cartoon Network would bring it back. I don't know that they would ever do that. I don't think they would. I don't know why they closed it either. It was probably just too much maintenance, but I do know that not too long after they closed it, they started trying other experiments, like they had the Foster's House, which was like a kind of a little bit like that, where you could get an imaginary friend, and then you can interact with the characters in the house, and different events would happen at different times. That was a little bit closer to like a kind of an MMO, although I don't think you were directly interacting with anyone but the characters in the game. And then they did things like Fusion Fall, which I don't really know too much about. I think that's more of a very straight example of an MMO. But yeah, if you remember this Cartoon Orbit, post in the comments, like, some memories. If you look online, you can find some images of what the CTunes looked like, and a little bit of information of what this was like. But there's not. I don't think there's, like, a huge database out there that details everything. But you can find a little bit of information online. So if you don't know what this is, I recommend you go do that, and then go sigh in the corner about how you'll never experience this awesomeness. But if you have experienced this awesomeness, please leave a comment down below letting me know, you know, what you thought of it, what your personal experiences were with it. Because, I mean, I can't go on about this enough. I'm really sorry to be repeating myself, but it was a fun thing. It was a cross between, like, stickers, a collectible card game, and the best part being, it was all free. It was all free. I mean, I guess you could buy, like, the goldfish crackers to get the codes, but, I mean, most codes were either through the Cartoon Fridays, through the games online, through, you know, just random ways. You didn't even have to pay for it. Like, it was great, and, you know, it will definitely be strongly remembered in my childhood. So, yeah. Pieguyrulz.